Welcome back to Proxy, everybody. And today I have Swordwind with me. He's a dedicated member of our Discord and community, and he brought a list to Adepticon, and he actually won. What was it? The best sportsmanship?
It was correct. Yes, it was best sportsmanship.
That's awesome, dude. I can already tell. I mean, you're a great guy. You're really friendly in the Discord and stuff like that. So I can already tell you're probably fantastic to play against. And man, how did you like going to Adepticon this year? How was it for you?
So I went with 5 other people, and none of us have ever been to Adepticon before, so it was all our first time going. And we scheduled a hotel like months and months in advance, so everything was really smooth. We stopped in line for pickup, and that took I think about like 20 or so minutes, so it wasn't too bad. They kept things going really quick, especially since there was like 10,000 people there. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, I loved every single day. Every day had a story behind it. It was fantastic.
that is awesome, dude. That is awesome. Big events like that are really fun. I remember back in the day going to games day and stuff like that. I thought that was so awesome as a kid. And I really want to go to some bigger events now. Now you have your army here, and it looks great, dude. Like, it looks absolutely phenomenal. I love what you did with the purple. I've always wanted to paint purple Eldari, but I've always been kind of afraid to do it low key. And the canopies on the Falcons look banging. Eldrad looks awesome. And I hear you actually entered him in the Golden Demon, dude.
I did. I did try to enter in Golden Demon. I went up with my buddy, and because we're really big, like out of like the a bunch of us that went, we are like the most like avid painters. So we went up and we looked at the stuff, and I was just like, you know what? After our events, why don't we enter our models, like enter our best model? So he was like, okay. So he entered his custom Abaddon, which was painted up to look like what was it? It was a an Iron Warriors model, and I had Eldrad. So
Nice.
yeah,
Love it. Iron
we
Warriors
didn't win anything,
Abaddon.
but it was cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, the people who win those competitions dedicate their lives to painting minis. So, you know, eh, obviously, we're probably not at that level yet, and maybe never will be, but it's still cool to enter. And I have a close up here of your Eldrad, and he looks great, dude. Like, he definitely beats my Eldrad, that's for fucking sure.
Thank you so much. That was my first time actually doing freehanding and glazing on the sword, so that was just a lot of like things I was trying out, and it turned out okay. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
freehand looks great. His sword looks great. Love what you did with the blues and the mix of colors and stuff like that. It looks really nice. I really love that. Green gems. I love painting green gems. Really cool. Also a fan of purple. So, you know, he looks amazing, dude.
well, thank you.
And you were very brave painting the inside of his cloak white because, man, like when I was painting up Eldrad myself, I was looking at that and I was like, man, there is no way in hell I'm going to paint the inside of that cloak white on a black primer. So you are very
Yeah,
brave and it looks good, man. It does. Looks awesome.
thank you.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Definitely deserves some awards, maybe not in Golden Demon, but, definitely in other painting
Yeah,
competitions. I think it
absolutely.
looks great. Okay, so you get there. You probably got there, what, a couple nights before the event really started?
We got there. So the event started on Wednesday, and then we got there midway through, but we got there fairly early in the morning. So we got there. Oh, I think it was around like 11 a.m. ish. We tried to get there like in time for pickup, for like badge pickup and all that, and a line had formed, but they hadn't opened it yet. So we got there, and it was decent. Yeah.
Nice. So easy time getting in, not too much foot traffic, and then, you played in the event, and I
Yes,
actually have a
I
picture
played in the.
here in the singles event, right? The singles tournament.
No, I didn't play in the singles event at all. I played in the Long War doubles event is what I did.
Ah, cool. Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. Here I am assuming you played in the singles event, but it was the Long War team event or doubles event.
Yes, this is actually as far as I'm aware, the biggest doubles tournament in the country.
Wow.
My partner ran 1,000 points of Salamanders, and then I ran 1,000 points of Eldari. I was running the Aspect Host detachment.
Awesome. Yeah, I was a little confused because I looked at your army. I was like, there's no way that's it, right? But yeah, that's 1,000 points. I added it up in my head. I'm like, must have been only half
Yep.
of his army. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. That's really freaking awesome, dude. I remember some of the best games I've ever had were with my buddies at the gaming shop playing doubles against two other people. Like, it's always fun to do that, play with your buddy, and strategize together and stuff. So here's your first game, and your buddy was playing. I'm sorry, I forgot what you said. What was he playing?
So he was playing Firestorm Salamanders,
Oh, cool. All right, right on. Yeah, salamanders,
but
dude. That's cool.
yeah, full disclosure going in, we actually lost all of our games. We went 0-3. Um, but in the very last round, we had something very funny come up. But we'll go into that when we get there.
Yeah.
So our first round, we ended up fighting. What was it? It was the new Demons detachment with Bellacore, and then the guy had literally three models and then an enhancement. So it was
Mm,
Bellacore and two Bloodthirsters,
right, and he has
and
that
then that
silly
was
enhancement that he can kill something and go back in reserve, right?
yes, that was it. Yep.
What a ridiculous enhancement. Yeah, honestly, that is probably one of the meanest armies to go against,
Yeah.
especially in
And then
doubles where,
yeah.
it's
Yep,
double.
and then
Yeah.
his partner was running Gene Stealer cults. So it was just constant MSU, I'm gonna hit you I'm gonna do actions and run around, and I'm gonna constantly have new units slotting in because they can
Yeah.
just bring stuff back. So
Oh,
it was really impressive.
brutal. It actually seems like the demons pretty much counter your buddy salamanders, and because I mean, what can you do? The guy's in reserve the
Yeah.
entire time. After killing something, goes in, destroys something, then goes back in reserve, and then the other guy's like the counter to Eldari, the Gene Stealer Colt. You know, not much you could do. But I will say this: your models are painted, fully based,
Yes.
and I'm looking over at the opponent's army. Doesn't really look. I mean, maybe they have three colors in there somewhere, but
Yes, I was actually trying to be as nice as possible when I mentioned this to the guy. I was like, "Hey, I noticed your teammate, he doesn't have a battle ready army. I think you're down 10 points." And he's like, "Oh, no, I don't think they're scoring that way for the event." And I'm like, "Okay, look, I stayed up for 2 nights in my hotel room trying to finish getting my my warp spiders battle ready. I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna get these 10 points."
yeah,
So
absolutely,
so
man.
he was cool with it. He was totally fine. He's like, I'll go talk to the TO. We'll see what he says. And the TO told him, yeah, this is a battle ready event. You either get the 10 points or you don't. So luckily there wasn't any problem. They 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 were down 10 points, but they still won. So
Well, I mean, with a with a
yeah.
freaking doubles team like that, look at that, man. You got your two
Yeah.
bloodthirsters. Oh God, one of them looks like the
Yeah.
special character bloodthirster, but I may be
Yes,
mistaken.
that is Bellacore right in the
Okay,
center there.
Bellacore, that's what his name is. Yeah. Oh God, that's awful. Well, here's the thing, though, right? It's like when you're building a list to have fun with your buddy, it kind of doesn't matter what the opponent brings. You're just trying to kill stuff, you know?
Yeah, overall, they advertise the event as 80% hobby, like 20% gameplay. So
Yeah, and
that's really what mattered.
they definitely brought more of a. I mean, there's some models on his list that look pretty cool, but
Yeah.
it's definitely more of
Unfortunately,
like a gameplay
myself and my
oriented.
teammate, we didn't get any practice games in like before Adepticon. We just couldn't make the time.
Yeah,
So I would have made changes now knowing like how the event went, but
absolutely.
it is what it is.
It's really tough. It's really tough, especially with a partner, to coordinate everything. I mean, when I was playing doubles games with my buddy, even at an RTT, there was a doubles RTT me and my buddy went to a long time ago, back in sixth edition. Eldar were absolutely broken at the time, but my buddy was playing guard and we could not coordinate. I basically took command of everything at one point because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And I was like, oh God. And it became very, very tough to like manage. So it's hard. Doubles are much harder to practice for than singles just because you have your teammate to worry about. They have models that you may be unfamiliar with and stuff. So It's definitely a difficult thing, even with practice, I would say. So I think, you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, 80% hobby, that's
absolutely.
cool. Go out there, have some fun, have a blast. I had a blast at that doubles tournament regardless. So you definitely want to focus more on that. And your armies look awesome side by side. The green and the purple go together super well. I think salamanders are honestly one of the cooler Space Marine factions as well. I'm a big
Oh
fan.
yeah, absolutely. We our team name was actually a bit of a meme. So our team name is Children of Burning. I bet you can guess why.
Yeah, that's freaking cool, dude. Yeah, because of the whole like
Yep.
salamander Eldar thing. Um,
Yep.
that's cool, dude. I really like that. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so that's game one, and then we got game two coming up. So game two, oh god,
All right, I gotta talk about the opponent's list for this.
oh
Um, so they ran the silliest thing I've ever seen. So I don't remember what those dropships are called, if you can remember.
Thunderhawks, right?
But Thunderhawks,
Or
yeah.
Storm
Well, not they're
Ravens?
not Thunderhawks.
Storm
They're the
Ravens, right?
smaller ones. Storm Ravens, yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. So, one person was running Space Wolves. The other person was running Dark Angels with the detachment where you run Ravenwing, Deathwing.
Right.
Um, so, and then he gets like buffs based on different things that happen for that force. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's how it was explained to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
but
familiar with it. My buddy runs it all the time. It's the task force, or not the task force. It's the um I'm forgetting it, but
it was
I
Lions. It was Lions something, I believe.
interesting. Yeah, it's just
I
like
don't remember.
basically the Ravenwing bikes get bonuses for being in combat with something that's Deathwing at the same time, essentially.
Yeah, and you can kind of see them behind the Space Wolf ship there. He had a big block of Ravenwing bikes.
Oh god, those things are nasty. Those
Yeah.
things,
So anyway,
yeah.
so they ran in the Space Wolf one, they ran Ragnar with like some of like their like base infantry, like a 10-man brick of their infantry, and then they had Murderfang in there. So that was a nightmare. And then in the other ship they had it was Belial and 5 Terminators with a I believe a Brutalis Dreadnought.
Oh god,
Yeah,
that's
but
brutal.
so anyway, we got turn one,
Yeah.
and it was a matter of can I make all my shots or not. So I move Eldrad up, and Eldrad immediately dooms the Space Wolf ship. I fire my guns, and I actually miss both my Bright Lance shots.
Oh,
So I only end up doing 8 damage to the thing, and for the rest of the game, neither of those ships died. So
that makes sense. That makes sense. If you can't kill a Storm Raven right off the bat, usually it's gonna stay alive because it's gonna kill your
yeah,
stuff the next turn. Oh god, that's brutal, dude. That's absolutely
yeah,
brutal.
it was rough. Um, Also with the special like rules, they have their own custom rules for doubles for the Long War.
Hmm.
So the way it works is like each team starts their first round with a pool of 2 command points, and then you gain 1 command point every turn as a team. So we're a lot more strangled on command points. Luckily,
Right.
that's why I brought Eldrad is so we can constantly get 2 a turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Eldrad definitely helped with that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Lion's Blade, by the way. Lion's Blade, something. Task Force or something like that.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Um, damn, that is freaking brutal, dude. So I think that's a bit of bad luck. The old bounce lances, the classic bounce, bounce lances, they're just missing and just not doing anything. Definitely Eldar rerolls helped with that prior, but
Yes, yes.
God, that's brutal.
I made a bit of a tactical error. I had so in my Falcons, right? My more upfront Falcon has the Dire Avengers and Azraman in it, and then the one in the back has the Fire Dragons. I should have
Mm,
swapped those and dropped the Fire Dragons right away to kill that ship.
yeah,
But I wanted to keep them more reserved for more of the later game turns. But
right.
yeah,
That makes sense. Sometimes, you just kind of go into a game and you have a game plan and then your plan doesn't work. And then
yep.
you're screwed. I mean, it happens to the best of us. No worries
Yeah,
there.
in this particular game, by the end of it, my entire army ended up getting wiped. and then it was just my Salamander's buddy left towards the end there. He had Adrax Agatone with Blade Guard in the Repulsor Executioner, and he tried to shoot that in one of the ships, and that totally whipped as well. So, yeah,
Sometimes just
um,
rolls are bad, man. You know, you can't
yeah.
do anything about it. Can't do a thing about it. Even with Aspect Host and all the rerolls that they get and all the good stuff, you just sometimes you're just shit out of luck. But that's
Absolutely.
another cool thing. At least their models are painted. I like the paint jobs from the other side of the field. You know,
Yeah,
so that
absolutely. And
really looks
and
cool.
yeah, and these gentlemen that we fought, uh, they were actually like the nicest people I met at the whole convention. I'll be honest. Like I was very transparent with them. I was like, hey, I'm giving you guys gold. You guys are awesome. They gave us an incredible game.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
yeah,
That's always a blast. Like win or lose, playing against two great guys that want to have fun, genuinely just want to play to have fun is like really awesome. Going
what
to
was
an event
awesome,
and
what was
having
even
fun is
more
cool.
awesome is they were asking us where we were from, and we're like, oh, we're from Iowa, and they were also from Iowa, like different part of the state, but still really cool.
Nice, dude. Nice. I always like meeting people from California at like events and stuff. Like, oh hey, like let's meet up and play a game. It never happens, but because it's
Oh
like
yeah,
usually hours away in California. They're like, no, we live in NorCal, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm never gonna
for sure, for sure.
never gonna drive that far, but that's cool, man. That's awesome. Looks like an awesome game. And you had a third game, so here's your game three. Oh
Yes,
wait, let's look at some close-ups really quick of your models in action. So you got a Zerman, the old ass man, Dire Avengers, Eldrad leading the way here, and then they're about to do some battle with some Space Wolves. You got who's that? Is
yes.
that Logan or what's his
That
name?
is that is I believe Ragnar is his
Oh,
name.
nice. I was about to say Lucas the Trickster, but then I remember is he even in the Space Wolf like brigade?
I have no clue.
God, Lucas the Trickster used to be so broken. Shout out to anybody who remembers Lucas the Trickster in like 5th edition. Like, shout out for like how busted he was. Oh god. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this other close up here. Azurman looks fantastic, dude. I love how you did Azurman, and
Thank you. Yeah,
love the
he was
Dire-Vengers.
very fun to paint.
Yeah, Azurman. The new models are great to paint, dude. They're really
Oh,
fun.
I love that model.
Yeah, so cool. I had to, but that was the only one I actually physically purchased for pre-order. It's the only one I pre-ordered. Like I didn't pre-order anything else, believe it or not, because I was waiting until the prices went down. And Zerman was like that one thing where I was like, I need him, dude. He looks so cool. Awesome model, and you did a great job painting him.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so here's your third game, and it looks like what is this? Chaos Space Marines and Tyranid.
Yes, I don't remember what detachment the Tyranid player was running, but the Chaos Space Marine player was running the oh, what was it called? Um, it's the advancing one, the competitive one.
Ah, that's the gosh, what is that called again? I know what you mean. The advance and shoot, really
Yes,
strong.
that one.
Renegade
Yep,
Raiders. That's what it is. Renegade
Renegade
Raiders.
Raiders. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. So he had his models painted up like Night Lords. He had a lot of actually like older
Oh,
models, but it was
cool.
cool.
Cool. So he's actually doing something that's themed too, because Night Lords are kind of like Renegade Raider-ish, right? Like advance really
I mean,
fast
yeah,
and
it's a
hit hard.
detachment you kind of want to run because you honestly don't want to run the actual Night Lords detachment because it's so bad. I also play Night Lords, so like, yeah.
You know what's I've never actually met a Night Lords player ever. Like I've met Alpha Legion, I've met Black Legion, I've met like all sorts of different Chaos Space Marine players. Never Night Lords. Is there a reason for that? Like,
So up until the upgrade sprue came out and like they got that new like Legionaries kill team,
uh,
um, that that was what really brought out a lot of these Night Lords players. But I think the other thing was they started talking about Night Lords a bunch over on the Adeptus Ridiculous podcast, and so many people started getting really in on it because they were talking about the Night Lords omnibus and how cool the lore is, and just yeah,
ah,
that's
got it.
my theory anyway. That's how I got into them.
Yeah, they're like the vampires of like Chaos Space Marines, right? Like they're like
Yeah,
the
they are.
antithesis to like Blood Angels. Is that like the thing that they're supposed to be?
They're the whole thing with Night Lords is they're they're all criminals. They come from like a planet of criminals.
Dude, I love how sci-fi just has like planets of singular things. Like we just have a
Yeah.
planet of entire planet of criminals, dude. Like on one planet, and another planet's like an entire planet of something else, like of one thing. Like that's just so funny to me. Oh god, like there's an Ogren planet of just pure Ogrens, dude. Like,
Oh my gosh.
like how does their society actually function? Oh fuck, dude, that is hilarious.
But
Oh
anyway, something so really interesting about this game.
yeah,
Um, so we went to our third table. We're supposed to go against somebody that's also 0-2, right? Because we lost our first two games.
right.
So we're there, and we're waiting for about like 7-ish minutes, and no one's showing up. So we go over to the TO and we're like, "Hey, our opponents for last round didn't show up." I'm assuming they just kind of gave up since they also went 0-2.
Right.
Um, so the TO is like, "All right, here's the deal. We got one more table that also their opponents didn't show up, so we'll pair you with them." And we're like, "Okay." And I did not know this going in at all. But the people we got paired up against, we got matched up hard because the opponents we went up against were undefeated. They went 2-0.
Oh fuck, dude. Oh, that's a bad
Um,
one.
the funny thing though is this was our closest game. We gave them the hardest fight of the whole tournament.
Nice.
And this one I actually do have a score for, so I can tell you what the end score was. Um, so I'm looking at my games here. We lost 67 to 89.
You know, honestly, that's pretty close. I know it doesn't seem close to the
Yeah.
viewers out there, but you know, a lot of times in games, it's like the last turn, right? It's like a 10-point swing on a
Right.
primary, a 5-point swing on a secondary, that kind of thing can like really make the difference in the last turn. So yeah, that's absolutely close.
Yeah. What ended up happening was actually the inverse of last game. So what ended up happening was, um, we killed like it was a slaughter fest. It was the mission where you control one, control more, and then kill one, kill more.
Purge, yeah.
So it was just yeah, purge. So what ended up happening was towards the middle of the game, my teammate who's playing salamanders, he got wiped. I myself still had a whole bunch of my Eldari up and running, and he like looked at me and he's just like, "It's all you, man." So I'm there, and I'm all over the board. I had striking scorpions and deep strike. I had units popping in and out of transports. I was using battle focus, trying to get everywhere I could, just doing secondaries, and I got our secondaries off every single time consistently.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, it really feels good to just score secondaries consistently with the Eldari. It's really, really quite awesome. Man, that's
yeah, and
awesome. What an awesome game.
we we the beer cart was going through the whole event, and it was like going through the alleyways behind all the players we were playing. So my buddy bought the four of us rounds, or the first round of drinks, and then after the game they bought us a round of drinks as well, so they were really awesome. um
That's super
so,
cool, dude.
and we got a big compliment from them actually. We actually ended our game before anybody else, and we played all 5 rounds out. They complimented us on our efficiency and how well we were performing just as a team. So that was really nice to hear.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, you've had a few games to practice a little bit, you know, at the tournament itself.
Yeah.
So,
The
and
other thing is
yeah,
too, both myself and my partner, I used to work at my local LGS, and he actually took my spot. I actually taught him Warhammer, and he is the one that now runs the Warhammer events, and I help out too. But we both teach people combat patrol, and we teach people how to like get into the game and advancing their lists and all that. So yeah, we're both in that mindset of we know how to do things efficiently and just play things out.
that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. It's always great when you like bring someone into the hobby and then they become like really involved. Like I've always felt that that was like really awesome. It's like, hey, like I taught you how to play Warhammer, and now you're like, you know, a big part of the game, big part of the community. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome, dude. So you had some great games at Adepticon, played in the biggest tournament, and then you got the best sportsmanship award, which is
Yes,
really, really freaking cool. And of course, you picked up a Hemlock Wraith fighter. which,
Yes, I
yeah,
did. I got an incredible deal on that hemlock. Like MSRP on that thing I think is like 92 bucks. I got it for 35.
that is such a good deal. I would pick that up for 35 even though it sucks. It's a cool bottle.
I saw it earlier in the week and they were selling for 45 and I was like, "No, I don't need it." And then I went back on the last day when they were doing their flash sales and I was like, "All right, we marked it down 10 bucks." All right, I'll buy it. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, so you won this award, and which is really awesome. I mean, it looks really cool. On the back, you have Adepticon 2025, long words doubles. Never give up, never surrender. You guys definitely didn't do that. You stuck it out the whole time. And then the front of it looks absolutely amazing, dude. That looks really freaking cool, dude.
yeah, so this is actually made out of solid brass. It's like a full at least a full pound. It was heavy.
Wow.
I wore it around the rest of the event because it's the only time I could wear it and it wouldn't look weird.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to wear that outside
Yeah.
typically.
What's even funnier is so we there were like there was like at least 100 of us like gathered around for this award ceremony, right?
Hmm.
And both myself and my teammate we're sitting there, we're drinking beers, and they call up our team and we're like, "What?" And so they hand us a huge stack of just like a bunch of stuff. We won like a gift card, we won like some like basing material, some like measuring stuff, all that. So I'm standing there and I'm trying to hold my medal as well, and they want us to take like photos with the TO. And so I'm sitting there, I'm holding all that stuff. I'm holding a beer in my hand. I'm top tier gaming right now.
That is so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds awesome, dude. That sounds like more awesome than the like people who are actually like podiuming them at the singles event, dude. Like that sounds way better, you know? That's cool, dude. That's awesome. So you
Oh
won
yeah.
this
They
award,
have a lot of
and
fun.
you met some people, some people within the Warhammer community on YouTube, which I thought was really cool. You want to go through some of those events and just share your experiences with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is
Yeah,
Dave,
so
right? From Wargaming.
yes. Yes. That was actually incredible. I walked into the vendor hall and he was also just walking the vendor hall and he was right at the door. So I said hi to him.
That is super cool, dude. That is really cool, man. I love watching his like my 10 million points of Chaos Space Marines, or
Yes.
my freaking entire like I have more models than there are like chapters of Space Marines out there, like army. He has so much stuff, dude. He has enough stuff to literally mimic the Ronodondra. Like
No, absolutely.
it's so
For sure.
insane, dude. I love watching those videos of just like tons of painted well chaos, like, and they're painted well too. It's like, what the hell, Dave? Like, holy
Yeah.
shit, man. Like, it's insane, dude. I think he probably has the biggest Chaos Space Marine collection of like anybody I've ever met or heard of. Like, and I've heard some pretty big collections. Like, I've known people that literally have every army, and like 5,000 plus points of every army, and I think he has more than them. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I
That's
think he
awesome.
owns a world record. Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Wow, that's crazy. I believe it 100%. That's cool. Awesome meeting. We got Scary.
Yes, so
Yeah,
Scary was over at the Ravage Star booth and he was running demos and I saw him and I'm like, dude, you're like the Drukari player of all time. Can I get a photo?
that's so cool, dude. That's really awesome.
Yeah,
That's really
I was
awesome.
like, I'm an Eldari main. I don't really play Drukari, and he's just like, you might be my gross cousin, but you're still cool. And then he gave me like a custom like Scary dice.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. What a class act. Yeah, I love Scar. He's super down to earth, super chill. Probably a really fun guy to play against, you know. Like
Absolutely.
that's cool, and he's awesome. He's like keeping the Dark Eldar win rate like somewhat stable.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
He's definitely holding him up, man. Like GW is like not buffing him too much, and that's because of Scary, dude. Like he is absolutely like affecting that. Oh, that is so cool. That's awesome. And we got gosh, I can't remember his name, but We got
So
the guy from
this is
Goobertown, right? Goobertown
yeah,
Hobbies,
that's
and
Goobertown Hobbies, and then that's eBay Miniature Rescues. That's
that's
Casey.
right, that's right. I've seen a couple of his videos, man. I love his video when he picks up those old Ogren models, those ancient
Yeah.
Ogrens, dude. Funniest story. When I was growing up, playing playing Imperial Guard was the first army I picked up because my friends talked me into it, and we had this game against this older guy, and we got obliterated by his Tyranids. And I remember my buddies were like strategizing to how to beat him next time, and we're like, man, we just gotta buy a bunch of Ogrens. And that will defeat him. And like, we had no idea how the rules worked or anything like that. So we pool our money together for like 6 months buying these fucking Ogrens, dude. Like, we bought like, we must have had 15 of them by the end of it. And we put him down on the field. We're like, what are you going to do against 15 Ogrens? And he was like, you can't even field that many Ogrens. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course we can. We bought them. We bought them and they're painted. And they were painted so bad, dude. And he was just like, nah, you can't field those Ogrens in your army. But he
What edition
eventually,
was that?
it was third edition, dude.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Well, we're trying to fit. The problem was we're trying to fit 15 of them in a Chimera. And he was like, no, they take up like 3 spaces and you need a commissar with them. And we're like, okay. So we had to like deploy them on the field. They just got destroyed, dude. Every one of them just got destroyed, dude. We were so sad. But those models, dude, were so cool. They were so cool back then. They were huge. They were heavy, dude. Like the new Ogrens have nothing on these old ogres, dude. They looked so cool. So like when I saw his video on that, it just brought me back so much nostalgia. That's really awesome that you met those two guys, man. They're cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cathartic because I actually got to sit down and actually paint with them and try out their new like stamping transfer thing that they're advertising. I bought it.
Oh, right
It's
on.
really cool.
That is so
Yeah.
cool. I love that. I need to get one of those. Honestly, that would help me so much with like different like little shapes and stuff like that. That's awesome. And then I can't remember her name, but is it Zucamo
So
Miniatures that she's
this
part
is
of?
this is Rogue Hobbies.
Rogue Hobbies. Okay. I'm
Yep.
thinking of someone else. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen a couple of her
Yep.
videos too.
Yeah, she flew all the way in from the UK to be there at Adepticon Milwaukee,
Wow.
and she was at a booth just painting some models. So I went over and said hi and took a photo with her.
That's cool, dude. That's awesome, dude. And then we have
This is
Jay,
Jay from
right?
Eons of
Yeah,
Battle.
Jay from. I was thinking. I was like, yeah, I was gonna say Jake for a second, but I
So
was like, no, that's
I
not right.
I was
Yeah,
looking for him throughout the entire convention, and I found him on I saw him on day 4, and he was talking to somebody, and then he was with his friend, and they were running off to go somewhere. So I chased after him, and he didn't realize. And I'm like, "Hey, are you Jay?" And he turns around, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, that's me." And I was just like, "Hey, I know it looks like you're in a rush, but can I take a photo with you, please?" And I'm a huge fan. And then he was totally cool about it. His friend took the photo for us. It was awesome. And then day
nice.
5, he's there um in the hall just getting some last minute deals, and I saw him shopping, and so I actually went up and talked to him, and I apologized for chasing him down. I felt bad. Um but he had a thing going on with Miniac where they were both painting up Jukari armies, like huge ones, and he had painted up
Oh
like two
yeah,
Tantalus, and
yep. I
they were
saw
gonna meet
that.
up there and duke it out. So
Nice. I love that. I love that.
yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love it when he paints the Dark Eldar or Eldar models. That always is cool seeing that. Gives me some new ideas for my stuff. Awesome. Dude, I mean, you've met everybody. This is Ninjon, right? This is
This is yes. I was this was on day 5. I went with my buddy to go pick up our Golden Demon entries, and he was standing there in line. So I said hi to him, and he actually he took home a medal for a Skaven model that he painted up. So that was awesome.
nice. Yeah, amazing painter. Absolutely amazing. Of course, dude. You got to have the OG, right?
I had yes, I took this photo with Duncan Rhodes. Honestly, one of the nicest people I ever met. He so funny thing. my friend and I were walking through the hall, or I think it was like around like day 3, and we're just walking, we're talking, and all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, hi, Duncan," and Duncan's like 2 inches to my right, and I turn my head and I freak out. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's Duncan!" And he's just like walking away. He's like, "Oh hey," and then he walks away. I'm like, "What was that? What did that just happen?"
That's so funny, dude.
So I met him again on day 5, and I actually talked to him, and he was like the very first person I ever watched like YouTube tutorials for miniature painting of. Like this was like 7, 8 years ago,
Yeah,
when I got into the hobby. So meeting him was fantastic. I shook his hand. It was amazing.
that's really cool, dude. Yeah, he's the absolute OG painter, heavy metal. Like, I love watching his videos, especially because he's really an old fashioned kind of painter, you know? Base paint, layers, highlights, washes, all the 9 yards, all the way up. Really cool. I actually his video, his Avatar of Kane video, was something that I was actively watching when I was painting my Avatar of Kane, because I just did not want like that model to look bad on the tabletop. I was like, I'm definitely going to like listen to some professional advice here on how to paint this guy, and it was great, dude. Every one of his videos is really good, but especially obviously his Eldari videos, because that's all I paint. His Eldari models for the most
Absolutely.
part. So really cool, dude. That's awesome, man. That's absolutely awesome. It looks like you had a really good time here, man. And I think if anything, this really, like, I hope this shows the community, like, even if you're not going to, win an event, like, don't go to an event just to win, right? Like, go for the community, go for the fun of it, just the atmosphere of it. I mean, it's worth it, even if you don't win a single game at the event. Like, when I used to go to events, before I got old and got married and stuff, um to be honest, like, I didn't win anything. I was lucky to win. Like, when I got older, I started winning more games at events, but that was never the point. The point is the atmosphere, the friends, the stories you tell other people after your games. Like, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Of course, meeting the legends of like YouTube and stuff like Warhammer. The
Yeah, it was
Warhammer
incredible.
YouTube is really cool. Like, that's really awesome. Um, and just having a blast, having a fun time, having some drinks, enjoying some booze.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
just,
No,
I
we
mean,
I
the booze is flowing, it may not be Bugman's, but I mean, hell, it'll get you there.
for sure. I've got more stories actually I can share with you about the con.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. Share away, my friend. Share away. Let us
So
live vicariously through you.
if you've got the image of me in my special Eldari outfit for the doubles tournament, pull that up.
Is this
Yeah.
it?
Yes, that's it. I
Nice.
got a tie custom made. So this is what I was wearing throughout the like all of Friday when I was at the doubles tournament.
That is
I
sick.
was quite literally John Eldari.
That is awesome, dude. That is so cool. Eldari
Yeah.
repping the Eldari, the superior faction.
Yeah. I got so many compliments on that tie, dude.
It's classy. It's a class act. It's purple, just like your army. It has the Farseer symbol, which is one of the best symbols of the Eldari. It looks the coolest, in my opinion. Just the eye, kind of reminds me of the eye on top of on the dollar bill, the Illuminati
Oh
eye,
yeah, for
top of the
sure.
pyramid or whatever. Like,
It's iconic.
yeah, it's cool, dude. It's really cool. It's awesome. I love that symbol.
So anyway, Friday we do the doubles tournament, and it's getting late at night, but we actually had another event going on right after. So I'm there. I had 2 drinks already. I was on my second drink right after the tournament. So I've got my cart with me. I regroup with my buddies, and we go off to Warhammer 40K trivia.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh God is right. So this was in a separate building, still connected to the event center. It was like in another hotel that you got on a skywalk, and then we had to find that. So that was a whole different issue. But we got there. It was okay. We got there, and they did 30 questions for trivia, and the trivia room was like all up. But but we were all playing to win because they had I think about 30 different box sets for the teams to like win, and it was all like 40K boxes. So they had like 6 combat patrols to give out, like a whole bunch of just sets of like random stuff. It was crazy what they had. It was only like $5 entry too, so per person. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we're there and we're sitting there and they're asking a whole variety of questions. Um, Mainly it was like split between 40K and Horus Heresy. I haven't read any of the Horus Heresy myself, but luckily two of my friends have. And they were beating themselves up for not knowing like one or two questions. They were crashing out. Um, but they I was able to answer a few, and then they asked a very specific Eldari question, and I was panicking. I ended up getting this wrong. But I think the question was, what did Isha give to the Eldari? And I think my answer was like soul stones, and that wasn't it at all. It was something else. But yeah, I was beating myself up for that.
Oh shit. Dude, don't worry, man. Like I was a participant in an Eldar trivia at a tournament at one point. And I got the most basic question wrong as a kid. And I remember thinking, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get this question right. Like I'm gonna be entered in the raffle. Like each question you answered, you got like a ticket in the raffle. And they were gonna raffle off a fully painted Eldar army. And of course, I answer it wrong, which was what is the Eldar armor made of? And I don't know. I answered something like psychoplastics or some bullshit. I don't know what I said. Something that's like obviously wrong that I just mixed up like brain signals on, and they were like, "No, it's Wraithbone." I was like, "Damn it!" Oh shit, man.
There was
Yeah,
one question at this trivia that was so like it was so bad, and my teammates were they were fuming after. So the question was, it was like it was a 7-part question, so you wrote down 7 answers, and it was just like, who are the 4 primary chaos gods, and then who are the 3 minor chaos gods? And obviously, everyone knows the 4 primary chaos gods, easy.
right.
But for the answers for the minor ones were so stupid because
I can
uh
imagine.
they were like the answers were Malal or Malice, whichever one they ended up saying. Which that one I was okay with. I told them to write down Vashtor because I know he's like a demigod and he was trying to become like one of the primary gods. That was not one of the answers, by the way. Um, so the other two were the Great Horned Rat. Okay.
Yeah,
And
that
then
makes
the other
sense.
one was like some obscure like AOS or fantasy god
Yeah.
that I've never even heard of in my life.
What is it, Gork and Mork, or are they in there?
No, 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 no.
No.
That would have made sense. That would have made sense, but it was not.
Oh God. Oh, that's funny, man. That's too funny.
Because I think what we answered for our other one was we wrote down Gorka Morka.
Nice. That's so
Yeah.
funny, dude. You know what? That's some crazy shit that only like a lore junkie would know. You can't blame yourself for that. Like,
Yeah.
like who's gonna know that, man? you know, you'd have to literally read all the books and like read all the wikis and like just totally
Yeah.
immerse yourself in lore to know that. That's crazy.
I felt like we did pretty well though. I think there were about 20 or so teams and we were in the top 5, but they only gave prizing out to top 3.
Yeah. No, that's still really good. Top five is still great. You should be proud for that.
Yeah.
Like I would be
Yeah,
fucking
they
bottom on the
half
bottom.
of the questions half the questions were Horus Heresy related, so we got most of those because of them. That was
Yeah.
huge.
I would know nothing about that. Like my knowledge of the lore is literally just what surrounds the Eldar in general, not even deep lore. Just like, yeah, I know about them in general. Like, that's about it.
Right, yeah.
That's crazy. A lot of my lore reading was like way back in the day though, when it was super cryptic, like in third edition. That's when I read the most, I would say, like third and fourth edition. And like a lot of the stuff in there, like in the fourth and third ed codex. It's like really obscure shit. It was
For sure, for sure.
not like very detailed lore, to be honest. But yeah, they've changed since then for sure on the lore of Warhammer and Eldar and stuff. That's really fun. That's cool. So what else did you do? You have any other fun stories for us?
We ended up going and trying out. We went to just like a whole bunch of booths and we did a whole bunch of shopping. As for other like special deals I got, I for 40K stuff specifically, I only ended up buying Eldar stuff. So,
Nice,
like I
as
said,
you should.
I got the hemlock for 35 bucks. Incredible deal. Um, there was a huge area where you could go and you could like just buy bits and like kits that were missing stuff and whatnot.
Nice,
So
dude.
I ended up finding two um almost nuance sprue vipers for cheap.
Wow.
I got one for 28 bucks. And that all that one was missing is it was missing the canopy and it was missing a base and that was it.
Easy
The
buys,
rest
easy
of it
purchases.
easy buys.
Yeah.
The other one I got for 35 bucks and that one had a base with it but it was missing a canopy. So it was
Mm.
basically the same thing.
Well, the
Um
canopies are much easier to get nowadays. You know,
yes, I'm actually having my friend 3D print me a few of them.
nice, super easy to
Um
3D print. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Especially since I paint them, so it doesn't need to be on like clear resin or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I think painting them is kind of the way to go in most cases. I don't know. Just lately,
Absolutely.
I've been wanting to paint the little guy inside, but there's no point. The little guy inside looks awful.
I don't like the helmet.
Yeah, the helmet looks
I don't like
whack.
the I don't like the slick back hair is so weird. It's
It's
yeah,
from a bygone era, dude. It's from like early third edition when those models came out. Like the
for sure.
Falcon and
Yeah.
stuff, dude. Like, dude, they have aged so well, though. I have to say, like, they've
They
aged like
have.
fine wine, dude. Like the grav tanks are so classic. I actually hope they never change them. I hope that they stay the same. I know some players out there are like, no, we want an update. Keep it the same. Keep it the same. Like literally 4 or 5 piece model.
Dude, I
Just
own
click
3 of
it.
almost every single grav tank, like except for like the giant ones.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping they don't get a model update because I don't want to have to replace them.
I know, dude. Truthfully, like I probably won't even replace them. Like they're so cool, and they're
Yeah.
fine as is, in my opinion. I'll just probably like stick some bits on it to like make it like equivalent or whatever, and just call it a day. Like I love
Yeah.
them. I'm in love with them. You heard
Yeah,
it here
so
first, guys. Proxy's in love with his own freaking Falcon.
uh
Proxy's in love with his own models. Oh fuck. Oh, that's funny. Oh
but
man.
anyway, I'm not done. Um at another booth, I found this was honestly one of my favorite deals I got. I went to a booth and they had these little they're like the older ones, but they're completely fine. Um like two fully built warlocks on foot. And they were advertising them as 20 bucks each. And I opened up my wallet and I like at the guy I'm like, "Hey, I got 18 bucks cash on me right now. Take it or leave it." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." So I got two
Nice.
warlocks for 18 bucks.
Dude, that's great, man. Some of the Warlock sculpts look really good too. Like the older
Yeah, I
ones.
already
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got the one with like the twin blade like glaive thing, and then the other one just
Nice.
has like a witch blade.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a cool model. The one with
Yep, I've already
the
rebased
fur
them. They look great.
on his back. You know
What was
what
that?
the one with the fur on his back, like the fur like kind of coat thing.
I think that's the one I picked up. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like they should have done that with the new Warlocks because like the lack of fur is like really disappointing.
Oh, they got that furry plume.
Yeah, yeah. In the old art, they had like a warlock with like a fur kind of like coat, and then he's like standing beside his like Grinks, little cat, little kitty cat. And I thought that was so cool. And like there's an actual model of that specific warlock as well. Like he's just has his helmet on, he has a sword in his hand, but it's like literally the same dude. I was like, damn, that's cool. But oh well. Oh well, they changed it and they made it super expensive to buy warlocks. So there you go. That's a
Yeah,
great
they're
deal though.
abysmal.
Yeah, it's like I think it's probably one of the worst. like box sets in the entire game as far as price, like for what you get. It's
Yeah,
awful.
definitely.
It's awful, dude. It's like servitors, dude. It was like metal servitors used to be, or like plastic. Like no, I think they were just metal, weren't they? The servitors or resin or whatever. God, that was awful as
Yeah,
well.
they transitioned all of their stuff into resin later on. I know that.
Yeah, the fine cast debacle. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, don't get me started about fine cast, dude. That was just the
Oh yeah, no, these
shit.
warlocks are fine cast that I bought.
Oh,
I rebased them last night, so they're
well, you got
yeah.
lucky then that they weren't messed up. Because man, like I there were so many things I bought fine cast that I just opened the box and it was like all messed up. It was like so bad. I was like, "No, dude, why?" And like GW had like a stricter like return policy back in the day. Like nowadays you could just return it. Like they'll just accept it. They're much better at returns. They're much better at missing like pieces and stuff than they were in the old days. In the old days, they would give you a lot of crap for trying to return something. Like it was a huge pain.
I think that's
Huge
because
pain.
resin is actually a more expensive material to work with than plastic is. Like plastic's everywhere.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why they chose to go with the fine cast, but yeah, I don't know what was wrong with it because like it is resin, right? I think fine cast is resin, but it's like a lower quality resin.
It's their own type of resin, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a casting resin. I don't know how I don't know if it reacts in the same way to UV light, but yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't know how I know how the process I have an idea of how the process works, but
Yeah, I wish I knew more about that stuff. That's one thing that I wish I knew more about, like how they actually make the models. Because like I assume it's just like injection molds, but I could be totally wrong on that.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, one of those mysteries of the warp. You know, we'll probably never truly know how they make their models. Anything else interesting happen at the event? Any good stories?
There
Like
was one
lessons?
more purchase I made. On the last day, I haggled with a guy. They were selling pretty much mint condition. They had like a bit of paint on them. I'm just gonna strip them and reprime them.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a squad of incubi that I didn't have to do anything with. They were selling it for $50, and that was already like $10 off. So I'm like, okay. But it was the last day, so I'm up to the guy and I'm like, hey, I'll do these for 40. And he's
Nice.
just like, sold. He didn't argue with me at
Nice.
all.
Dude, that is a
So
really good deal, man. $40 for 10 of them?
no,
That's
it was just
insane.
5. It was just 5.
Oh, just five. Okay. Still good
Yeah.
deal. Still good deal. I was gonna say for 10, dude. Holy crap. Um,
I wish it was 10.
the best deal I ever got was at one of my local game stores, and I saw a Bane blade in consignment case for $20. And I was like, does this guy know what he has? And the guy was like, nope. He said he just got it randomly, put it together, never played the game once, just wanted to
What?
get rid of it. Yeah. I
That's
guess
like a crazy pawn shop find.
yeah, he got it as a gift from somebody. He painted it, built it up, painted it, and then just didn't want it anymore. It kind of looked like it had been sitting in a shelf for a while, and he just put it up for consignment. And I was like, that's sold right there. Dude, I honestly played so many games with it, even friendly games back in the day, because you could, you know, back in the day, I don't know if how long have you played Warhammer 40K, by the way?
I started playing beginning of ninth edition, but I've been collecting since like 8 years ago.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you've been collecting for a while. In when I bought it, it was fourth edition. So the Bane Blade was a recent model that was Imperial armor. So you couldn't you had to ask your opponent for permission to use it in games. I used it in every fucking game I played with Imperial Guard, and I said, dude, please let me use this to whoever I was playing, please. And they were always like, yeah, dude, it looks awesome, of course. I would just run in
Sick.
games. It sucked. It was absolute garbage back in the day, but it was fun. It was fun. It was a great model to have. Yeah. Had that for a very long time, painted it up, rebuilt it, fixed it up, and I eventually sold it to somebody else for I think it was like I think I sold it for like $70 or something like that, like at the time. So it was like not only did it bring me a ton of fun, but it also made me a profit. Oh shit. Fun stuff. That's cool, man. That just seems like a great event, man. Truly awesome.
Yeah.
Truly awesome. One of
And
the
I've got
events of
if
all
you want,
time.
I can share a couple of, I have a few stories just not related to other things, but kind of related to the event.
Yeah, yeah, go for it, dude.
So
Absolutely.
I just want to talk real quick about just like us and just us being there as like a group. So we uh we had two cars, and so it was four of us in one car, and then our other two friends they drove in one car themselves. But we all met up at my apartment, and we're all trying to figure out how to get this into my buddy's car, and we made it work. But we had so much stuff that we built a wall in the back between me and my other friend, and we were both sitting in the back seats.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this just wall between us of like my cart, like a cooler, his case. Yeah, it was crazy. Just trying to get that there.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Um, Yeah, I had to take a photo of the trunk for us so we knew how to Jenga everything back into place, or how to Tetris everything back into place.
Oh God, I remember I had to.
Yeah.
I rode to one event in the back of somebody's pickup truck, man. And the reason why I did it was because they were like, "Dude, we don't have room for your stuff." And I was like, "Dude, how do you not have room for my stuff?" And they were like, we barely have room for our stuff." And I was like, "God damn it!" And they were like, "I think you're just gonna have to go in the back, dude, or you're gonna have to put your models in the back." And I was like, "Nah, I'm going with it. If wherever my models go, I go too." And I was just like in the back of the pickup truck, like fucking. I don't even know how we didn't get caught because I was also underage. I was just
That's
laying on the
awesome.
flatbread of the fucking truck, like holding onto a fucking rope, dude. And I just like was carrying my like Warhammer case with me. Oh fuck, dude. Well, we arrived at the tournament and everything was fine, and I
Yeah.
lost
So,
horribly.
but
Oh
yeah.
god.
Anyway, so we got to our hotel and all that. That went pretty smooth. So we got in there. There's six of us sharing one hotel suite. So we had two rooms with two queen beds. We had a pull-out couch, and then my buddy brought his cot that he slept on. And funnily enough, no one slept on the couch because someone brought their air mattress. And then the other guy just slept on the floor underneath a chair for some reason for two
Nice.
nights.
Uh,
That was just his decision. I don't know why,
you know
but
what? I
it's just
totally.
what he decided to do.
Some people are like that. I'm like that. I'll sleep wherever. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll sleep on stairs. I've been known to sleep on the sink, on top of a sink. Um,
I
you know, it's just some people like sleeping on hard surfaces. I don't know. That's me.
yeah.
That's funny though. That guy's a man after my own heart because I do the exact same shit. Like, my wife will walk in on me. She's like, "How the hell are you sleeping on the car? Like against the car? Like not even in the car, but like literally against it, like on a chair."
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
gosh.
"I don't know. I don't know how I do it, but I just do it."
No, my friend's girlfriend, she walked into their room, was like looked at him laying on the ground, and was just like, "How are you sleeping like that?" And he like looked up at her, and he's just like, "I'm a dad, and I'm about to have another kid. I'm used to sleeping on the bed in like the weirdest way possible,
That is
and
so
if I have
funny.
to, I'll sleep on the floor."
Yeah, he'll just sleep wherever he can to get a
Yeah,
moment's
he
rest.
doesn't. Yeah.
That's funny, dude.
Well, I mean, it was comfortable for him, so it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, some people can sleep like that, like for sure, and it's not a big deal. Doesn't hurt their back or anything like that.
Yeah, it didn't affect him at all. So.
A true Iron Man, true Iron Warrior.
Yeah, so anyway, during the convention and all that, we had like one main place we all went to for like food like two or three times. We ended up splitting up and splitting off and all that. But there was this Irish pub that was just a few blocks down, and so we went there a couple of times. And the viewers at home are gonna love this story. So I wasn't there for this, but I heard about this from my friends. So uh this pub was constantly crowded with people from Adepticon constantly. And so my buddy's girlfriend, she walks into the women's restroom, and there was a couple of prostitutes in there. and they saw that she had a badge on for Adepticon, and she's like, and one of the prostitutes is like, "Hey, you're going to that convention, right?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And they look at her and they're like, "What is wrong with all of these men?" Because like none of them were like paying attention to them at all. They were just trying to get to and from their hotels and the businesses and like to just get to the con and all that.
That's funny.
And they're all like socially awkward as hell. And she was just like, "Oh yeah, it's a wargaming convention. Like all these guys are here to play Warhammer." Uh and they were not getting it at all. So she explained it to them, and then they were like, "Oh, we got to dress up like all nerdy and stuff. That's what you're saying." And then so she just got out of there.
They have to dress up as Dark Eldar, as the
Oh
Drukhari,
my god.
and that way they can get some business. Oh shit, that's hilarious, dude. Combat drugs are a thing.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
God damn.
I saw there was this chick wearing a Custodes helmet that was walking around giving out Aquilas, and there was another like Sister of Battle who was really flaunting it. Let's just say that. So,
Flaunting that power armor, that like
oh yeah, oh
fucking
yeah.
6-inch thick power armor that those battle nuns
Actually,
wear.
I'm pretty sure she was a Repentia, so she didn't really
Oh,
have much armor
I
on. Let's
see.
put it that way.
She had sinned and she had to,
Oh yeah,
get
absolutely.
forgiveness from the emperor. That's so funny, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, people are
Yep.
funny. People are funny. This world is full of funny people, especially in Warhammer.
Yep.
The hobby is
There
just
was only like
hilarious.
There was only one Space Marine cosplayer there, but we got a photo with him too. He was really
Nice.
cool. He was dressed like a Crimson Fist, so that was awesome.
Cool, Crimson Fists. That reminds me of the freaking Crimson Chin from that stupid cartoon.
Oh yeah, yes.
Every time I make fun of Crimson
Yeah.
Fists players so much. I'll just call them the Crimson Chins. I'll be like, "Oh, the Crimson Chins." They're like, "Dude, shut up."
I need to see that as like a 3D print where like the front is like elongated, so it looks like and it's like flat, so it's like a chin, kind of like how Eldar helmet is, but like for Space Marines.
Dude, that would be so funny. And it's just like the chin is painted red.
No,
Every
absolutely,
Dude, that is
100%.
yeah, that's so funny, dude. If anybody does like a 3D print of that and like makes it, dude,
Hmm.
I don't care what. Like you are winning that game. I will like make sure you win. Just because I would love to say I got beaten by the Crimson Chins, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so funny, man. Oh, that's crazy, dude.
Um, I think the only other story I have is like we went into that same bar on a different night, and one of the bartenders came up to us, or like one of the servers came up to us, and we were just trying to get some dinner, and we're sitting there eating, and he comes up to us, and he's just like, he was talking to us about how like crazy it's been since like the convention started. It's been so busy, and we left around midnight because it was pretty late. But he said he'd started his shift at 5, and
Mm-hmm.
he'd already made $300 in tips.
Damn.
It was
Nice.
absurd. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people have money burning in their pocket, holes burning in their pockets. I mean, Warhammer players aren't exactly the most frugal people. We're always spending
absolutely.
money. We're always spending money, man. Our wallets are just being drained all the time on plastic money's.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, speaking of, I this is one other thing I have to say. So I was at the and you guys saw this live Discord server. I went to the Warhammer 40K booth, and they had a ton of Forge World stuff there. And I was freaking out because I saw a Phantom there. They had a Phantom, and they had a couple of when I went up, they had a Phantom and two Revenant Titans there. And they had like all the gun options and all that, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh, I really want this." And I picked it up, and I was walking around like the whole area with it for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, "Nope, this is insane." And I put it back. And then I went back later, and the Phantom Titan was gone, and I'm like, "Ah, that's too bad." And there was a GW employee standing right next to me, and he's just like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" And I was just like, "Oh, I just came here to check and see if you guys still had the Phantom Titan, but it's gone." And then he's just like, hang on, I think we have another in the back. And then I'm just like, oh no, that's okay. And she's like, nah, no, no, I'll check for you. So I can see him, and he's like looking, he's looking, and he holds it up in the way back, and he's just like, it's right here. You know you want it, and I'm like, no, no, I'm not doing it.
No, it's too much, too much.
And you know
Yeah.
what the
Oh
worst part
god.
was? I went back to that booth on like day 4 or 5. I can't remember which one it was, and I checked again. They had 3 Phantom Titans on the shelf.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did not. They brought a ton of them.
That's insane. Well, I mean, Phantom Titans are not really the most popular selling models for obvious reasons, but yeah, like they are definitely a
Well, they at least sold
collector's.
one, so
They're a
yeah.
collector's item. Yeah, people will spend some big bucks on a Phantom Titan to paint up, put on their shelves, and then occasionally bring out for APOC games. God, there was this
That's
one guy
actually
I knew that had he had like 4 or 5 Titans, and he said he would buy every single Titan that came out, and I was like, wow, this guy is insane. Oh fuck. And then
that's
of
actually a good
course,
transition
yeah.
into my next thing I was gonna
Mhm.
say was I went and I visited the Apocalypse booth.
Oh, right on.
Um, or not booth, but like tables because they had like a huge narrative apocalypse thing going on. Um, there were so many Tau players, so many.
The
And then
Tau
there
do love
were
their apocalypse.
oh, absolutely, but there were only 4 Eldar players, and it was really sad because the biggest thing that they brought was one guy brought a Cobra, and no one brought any Eldari Titans.
There's a reason.
I,
There
I
is
come
a
on, it's Adepticon. I want to see the Titans. I saw
I
one
know.
Phantom display, that was like converted into like a Drukari like Phantom that was sick, but
Nice. I love that.
uh, yeah. So I got in on their Discord server, and I might do their Apocalypse next year. I won't bring a Titan, but I have the Scorpion Grav tank, and I'll definitely bring that. So
Nice. Yeah, I gotta bring those OG like super heavies.
I'm
That's
bringing
cool,
a
man.
huge tank company if that's the case.
That's
Huge.
awesome. That would be awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I remember, back in the day, yeah, you weren't playing the game at this point, but they had this like Apocalypse release, and there was like all these Apocalypse rules that came out. I think it was with 5th edition. And like one of the biggest like disappointments in the whole freaking thing was the Fire Prism company or whatever. They sold a big Apocalypse box of Fire Prisms, like 3 of them. And the saddest thing was their rule just sucked so much, dude. I remember their Apocalypse formation was like so bad. I mean, maybe I was just not reading it correctly, but it just didn't do anything. I remember shooting it like it's an enemy like Warlord Titan, and it did nothing, dude. I was like, great. It was like so sad. And then like this guy that brought a cardboard Orc Stompa, I shit you not, he made it out of cardboard, dude. And people let him play it in the event. And it was painted and everything, and it was just so like I was like, God damn it, really? There's a piece of cardboard on the field, and it was so big that it like blocked. It was like half a deployment zone just by itself.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then that was a wild event, dude. There was this guy who brought 50 Terminators deep striking with their like
Ooh.
special. Yeah, and like I guess the rule was when they charge after deep strike, because like back in the day you could technically deep strike down and charge if you were within 6 inches, but there was a risk. Like if you scattered into your opponent with a scatter dice, you might die, right? So like
Mm.
their special thing was, oh, I get like rerolls to hit and rerolls to wound on charge. Like, and back then, by the way, that's super OP. Like nobody had that. Nobody had that. But he has these 50 Terminators. He has like Terminator characters, like 3 of them or something like that in there. And he's like, I want to drop right here. And he was like right next to like one of my Harlequin squads. And I was like, you sure you want to drop that close? And he was like, yeah, dude, like totally. Like I'll wipe out this whole flank. Like, and I was like, but if you scatter into me, you could die though. And he was like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm right here. And he puts his Terminators down, his 50 Terminators. I was like, you realize if you scatter even 1 inch into my models, you will roll a mishap test. And he was like, I'm fine. I was like, okay. Like I tried to like warn him against it like 20 times. He rolls. Not only does he scatter 1 inch, He scatters 12 inches into the middle of my army and my buddy's army. And we're like, dude, there's no way you're fitting 50 Terminators in there. And he was like, okay, I'll just go back in reserve. That's fine. And we're like, go ahead and roll on the table. It was like a 2+ to like go back in reserve. He rolls a 1. All of his guys die. All 50 Terminators. 2 Terminator characters.
Wow.
Terminator Chaplain. Terminator Librarian. All dead. He just looks at us for a second. He's like, please let me not like die here. And we're like, no, yeah, I'm sorry.
You
we
committed? Yeah.
we gave you so many chances. We even said like, please don't do it. Like after he rolled the scatter dice, we even gave him a chance, and then he argued even further, like that he was gonna do it even more, and he was gonna roll on the mishap table. We're like, nope, nope, they're dead, man. Oh, he got so upset. I think he left the event actually.
Uh,
Oh man, that was wild, dude. I mean, that would never happen in like modern like apocalypse, obviously, but there was some crazy shit back then, for sure, dude. Apocalypse events are fun. They're fun.
Oh yeah, it seemed like a blast.
Yeah, they're fun, but they're very uncompetitive. They're not competitive at all. It's like what I would recommend if people don't want anything like remotely competitive to be like at their tournament, do an APOC event. It's absolutely bonkers. It's just crazy shit happening all over the place. Like players are coordinating like strikes against different parts of the battlefield and shit. Like people from like across the table, like 3 tables down, will like call fucking something in against you, and like it's just a blast. It's just fun, you know. It's a cool system. It's kind of like one of those things where you don't even really need to like have apocalypse level stuff to like have fun in it. You just bring what you have, you know, which is kind of cool. But yeah, dude, I hope you have fun at that APOC event that you're going to be at. It's a really cool blast. We'll have
We'll
to,
see.
yeah.
Yeah. It depends on how much I can get painted.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. If you do go to it, hit me up and we'll kind of cover the event because I think that's really cool. I haven't done
Oh,
anything APOC
absolutely.
on the channel, so it'd be really cool to kind of cover that because nobody really plays APOC and like talks about it. It's like one of those like things you say in hushed whispers, like yeah, like oh I play
Yeah.
APOC, you know. It's like no, like either nobody cares or like people just don't talk about it. So like I definitely think it's a cool game system. So yeah, we'll definitely
Yeah, I
talk
really
about it.
wish they'd update. I hope when 11th comes out, they update a system, make an update system for 11th that's compatible with a new Apocalypse rule set.
Hmm. Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, they were just playing 10th the entire time. That's how they played APOC.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Hopefully they will. Absolutely. All right, man. Do you have any last words for the viewers before we end the video and the interview?
Yeah, if you can, go to Adepticon. It's an amazing experience. I am so happy I went.
Absolutely, dude. I'm gonna try to make it next year for sure. Absolutely. It sounds awesome. It's right. It's during spring break, so as a teacher, I have no excuse. You know, I'm gonna try to make it. I mean, I guess the only excuse is the money because it's across the country. But you know, so yeah, awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much, Swordwind, for coming on the channel, talking about the event, and just sharing your experiences at the event. Best sportsmanship. Congratulations, and yeah, thank you to everybody who watches and who will watch this video. And yeah, I'll leave all my links in the description. You know, the Patreon and all that. If you want to support the channel, join our Patreon. It's really cool. You can talk about, you know, all sorts of things on our Discord with the link that I will provide you once you get on there. And, you know, check out my channel store page and Amazon affiliate links. All right, guys. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time. And thank you so much once again, Swordwind, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'll see you later. Have a good one.